Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the...
Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I traveled with him to the fight.
Crawford is going to fight Canelo, because even if I have some doubts and misgivings about the size matchup, it is two action fighters who like to fight aggressively at times, not all the times, going against each other, and we'll see who can open the other person's tuna can, so to speak.
The experts have spoken, and their pick is either Canelo Alvarez or Terence Crawford. But what's really interesting are their reasons. Some of them might completely surprise you.
Canelo Alvarez thinks you're not a 54-pounder. In other words, you say, nah, he's too small.
That's his take. There's a reason why Israel was so respectful in the fight. Anytime I let my hands go, he either grab me or move. For the bigger guy, you should have been walking me down. You should have been bullying me. Canelo can say, what do you say?
He just doesn't feel like you're a 54-pounder.
Everything seems to be working against Terence Crawford heading into his super middleweight showdown this September against Canelo Alvarez, and that's exactly how Crawford likes it. He'll be the smaller man in the ring, going up against the physically stronger Mexican icon. For the first time in his 17-year pro career, Crawford is stepping in as the underdog, and it makes sense. He's moving up to full weight classes to take on a 4-division world champion. But size alone doesn't tell the full story. At 5'8", Crawford actually has a height and a 4-inch reach advantage. And even though he's 37, 3 years older than Canelo, he's had fewer fights and taken less damage across 25 fewer bouts and 263 fewer rounds.
Hands. No side. Feint the right. Well, sure, come on. Keep moving.
I don't need to stop him. I just need to beat him, Crawford said in an in-depth interview with The Ring. I'm not going in there trying to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Sure. Crawford sees Canelo as a big guy who came up from smaller weight classes, which gave him speed and sharpness. But those bigger opponents can be slower, giving Crawford a potential edge. He believes he can see and avoid those shots better. Speaking with Marcos Villegas on Fight Hub TV, Shawn Porter echoed similar concerns, particularly about Crawford taking Canelo's power over 12 rounds. Still, Porter also pointed out that Canelo tends to slow down in the later rounds, something Crawford could use to his advantage.
A lot of people say, oh, well, he's money hungry, he's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that. I've been getting money for years. Been getting money for years. And I'm not stupid with my money. As you can see, I don't buy no Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and, you know, I mean, walk around with 100 people around me and got all this jewelry down and bought.
That's why Porter believes Canelo will likely come out aggressive, trying to wear Crawford down early before his own gas tank starts to empty. Crawford, on the other hand, might still be fresh by the later rounds. Still, Porter didn't commit to a prediction. There's just so many pieces that make a champion, he said. We could talk for an hour about everything Crawford brings to the table.
Many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned.
Porter, who was stopped by Crawford in round 10 of their welterweight title clash, actually thinks Crawford holds the upper hand. Speaking to Fight Hype, he argued that people focus too much on Canelo's strength. Boxing isn't just about who hits harder, he said, who's smarter, who's more athletic. faster, has better stamina, more experience. Add it all up, and you'll see Crawford has a lot going for him. Crawford recently shared a photo showing a scale reading 186 pounds. But when asked what he really weighs right now, he just laughed and said 140.
Every time I see him, he'll come and be like, Canelo. Yeah, you know how Bill do it too, yeah. I be like, man, come on, man. Yeah. So every time he say that, you know, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay. And he's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting me like, all right.
Crawford began his pro career back in 2008 as a 137-pound fighter. Since then, he's collected world titles across multiple divisions, becoming undisputed at both 140 and 147. Most recently, he added the WBA 154-pound belt after defeating Israel Madrimov last summer. On the flip side, Canelo started his journey even earlier, at just 15 years old and weighing 139 pounds. He's claimed titles in 4 divisions: 154, 160, 168, and even 175. If he beats William Skull on May 3rd in Saudi Arabia, he'll become a 2-time undisputed champion at super middleweight. If he gets hit with a punch he doesn't see, he can definitely be hurt, Crawford warned.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
He's not a machine. He's human just like me. He bleeds like I do, Crawford said. I'm not stepping in there thinking I can't hurt him, but I'm also not hunting for a knockout. I'm going to fight my fight, and if a knockout happens, I'll take it. Canelo's only 2 career losses came against Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. That Mayweather fight happened back in 2013 when Canelo was still developing. Many fans think Crawford's style mirrors Mayweather's slick defensive approach, so beating Crawford would prove just how much Canelo has evolved since then.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him, but you know, sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
Talking about the potential Crawford bout, Canelo told The Ring, "You know what everyone wants. People want that fight, but for me, the focus is May. I have to handle the Skull fight first. We'll see after that, anything can happen." He also addressed the comparisons between Crawford and Mayweather, saying, "It's a chance for me to show how much I've grown. Back then, I just needed more time. I've gained so much experience. I don't blame myself. I learned a lot. Now, I want to show who I really am as a fighter today."
Fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you know, you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible.
One of the people backing Terence Crawford to beat Canelo is Barry McGuigan. He's so confident, in fact, that he's already thinking up game plans Bud might want to consider. In a recent chat with Betway, the former world champion didn't hold back. When asked about the fight, McGuigan said Crawford needs to dial back into what made him dangerous: his timing, accuracy, and knockout power.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat.
He's an old school technician like Sugar Ray Robinson with flawless timing. McGuigan added, if he wants to make a statement, he's got to bring that power early and move in and out quickly. He can't just stand in front of Canelo. Still, McGuigan admitted Crawford will need to fight smart. Canelo loves a slugfest heel trade punches all night. Crawford can't play into that. Early on, he needs to be slick, elusive, and avoid getting sucked into a war. If not, he'll be in serious trouble.
Canelo's now 10-0 at super middleweight, been largely untouchable at this weight class. Why do you believe that you're the man to knock him off?
I'm the best. That's why. That's why everybody gonna come and watch September 12th.
All right, bud. Good luck on September 12th.
Thank you.
When you see Canelo start to fade, that's when you press the action trade with him, Barry McGuigan advised, but he also warned, Canelo's smart. He'll know how to handle it. Meanwhile, Tim Bradley recently called out Canelo, urging him to finally give Crawford the fight he's been chasing. At 37, Crawford is pushing hard for this mega fight, though critics say he's avoiding tougher competition at 168 and 175. Bradley didn't hold back, accusing Canelo of ducking Crawford. He even said the fight would be nothing more than Crawford's golden parachute into a luxurious retirement, living large in Beverly Hills.
And you can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence have more skills than Lara, and I think he can do more. And you're saying that, oh, Canelo is a super strong guy.
Respectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, you know, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you ask him about that, because you say, your matchup is coming out of the other weight classes, and and he's welterweight, so don't make sense. But if the fight made sense.
Bradley then slammed Crawford's recent showing against Israel Madrimov on August 3rd, claiming it proved Bud's not built to keep climbing weight classes. He looked old, Bradley said, pointing out how Crawford kept eating right hands all night, so he questioned, why would Canelo even bother? Still, he doubled down. Canelo, don't run from this. You already ducked Benavidez. You clearly don't care what people think. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Bradley pleaded, make the fight with Crawford. That's what fans want. Give Bud the shot to show the world just how great he really is.
Man, technique. You already know. If you ever wrestled before, the person that got better technique usually win. It don't matter how much the weight they have or what they're carrying around. It's the technique. Crawford knows how to take care of himself on the inside.
Everyone keeps bringing up the weight. Oh, Canelo's gonna knock him out, they say. But Bradley pushed back hard. When's the last time Canelo actually knocked someone out? He asked. You can stop with that talk. He pointed out that Canelo and Crawford are the same height. Fivitan that Canelo started his career at 147, just like Bud. Yes, Canelo is stronger and more built now, but Bradley argued the size gap isn't as wide as people claim. Still, many fans weren't buying Bradley's take, especially after Crawford's close win over Madrimov. The backlash came fast, not just for Bradley, but for anyone siding with Bud.
He knows how to smother. He knows how to tie up. He knows how to rough guys up. He knows how to turn guys. He understands weight distribution, man. You know, not only that, the only way that I see Canelo beating Crawford is he got to knock.
On the All the Smoke podcast, Andre Ward undefeated in 32 fights weighed in on what bouts he wants most. I want to see Canelo fight either Terence Crawford or David Benavidez. Ward said, those are the fights to make. By their face, a real challenge at your weight or test yourself against the smaller guy.
Most skill fighter today.
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Tyke Shakur, Devin, Boots
is my favorite.
It's a lot of them, and they skillful in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud. Because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he coming around.
If that fight does happen, Ward knows where his money's going. On the smaller guy, I'm not betting against Terence against anyone right now, he said. Ward believes Crawford is as close to a sure thing as boxing gets. He's someone I'd bet my house on, Ward said proudly. Me and Bud, we share the same mindset. Sure, he's got skills, but it's his heart and his mind that separates him. Not many guys are like that today. A lot of fighters talk big butt when they're in a 50-50th fight, a real test we find out what they're really made of.
When we start arguing about basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. You gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes.
He's different. He's a dog. That's the stuff that gets me out of my seat, said Andre Ward, praising Crawford's killer instinct. It means that when the moment calls for it, he becomes that guy. Someone who shares that belief is Shocker Stevenson, who often calls Crawford his big brother. Despite a 14-pound weight gap, Stevenson is confident Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez. While Canelo has dismissed the fight due to size differences, Stevenson doesn't buy it. He says it's not about size, it's about skill. With Crawford's southpaw stance, slick movement, and rock-solid fundamentals, he believes Bud has what it takes to give Canelo serious trouble.
Could beat Canelo. Like I said, I've been saying this. I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would beat Canelo.
Speaking to TV about Crawford's next steps, Stevenson said, right now, Terence Crawford is running things. When asked who Crawford should face next, Stevenson didn't hesitate. He wants to see him fight Charlo. Even though Charlo already lined up to face Canelo, Stevenson still believes Crawford could beat Canelo. He's a southpaw with great footwork and crisp boxing. It won't be easy for Canelo to corner him and unleash those heavy hooks. Stevenson said, "I wish Charlo wasn't already fighting Canelo, but it is what it is. I still think Bud could beat him. It's not about size, it's about skills."
Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, you know. Who knows?
That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
Just saying, man. We can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that it.
One man who understands the weight of being undisputed in more than one division is Evander Holyfield, who accomplished it at both cruiserweight and heavyweight. That's why his meeting with Crawford held so much weight. Sharing his thoughts with Fight Hub TV, Holyfield weighed in on the Canelo versus Crawford showdown. While he respects Crawford's talent, he thinks this leap might be too much. It's going to be hard to beat Canelo, he admitted. He's pretty basic in his style, but he's good. Still, Crawford's got what it takes.
Like that before. And just say he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
You posted the other day, there's a picture of you in a Rolls Royce, and you said at the court is, "I can't remember how many of these I gave away." Tell me about that.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, when we used to have the money, it's fake. You're not accepting that shit.
Yeah, but necessary and get the guy before he get got. And so, that's the art of the game of boxing is it's about how you gonna receive to take it from him, but finding a way how to take it from him. If you just as strong as me, if you just as fast as me, I know I just can't run up there in the counterweight. Cause can't nobody run up from me back in the counterweight. They gonna get him. Absolutely. And so, this gonna be a technical fight that both these guys can find out.
According to Holyfield, even though Canelo has solid power and experience, his stamina sometimes fades in long fights. Mike Tyson also pointed this out, especially in Canelo's bout with Bivol. As the rounds go on, Canelo can lose some sharpness and pop in his punches, giving sharp opponents a chance to take over late. And while Canelo can be a solid defender, he sometimes leaves himself exposed, whether due to mental lapses or overcommitting on offense, something a smart, patient fighter could exploit.
A big guy tried to do. They never stand. Will be a tough one today, huh? Yeah, I think we'll be tough.
What are you rooting for?
Crawford. Okay. Everyone's know what you're going to do to Jake Paul in a few months' time.
That lack of consistency on defense could be a real issue against someone like Crawford. Holyfield added, "Bud's a master of timing. If Canelo makes a mistake, Crawford's going to find a tan, make him pay."
Hey, Mike, Canelo Crawford. Crawford's in the building. Canelo fights this weekend. What do you think of that fight?
Where's the fight gonna be at?
Well, they say in Vegas, maybe in September, but Canelo's got to get one.
I said Crawford too. It's really a pick'em fight. I'm be happy either way.
Another place where Canelo struggles, movement. He's had problems dealing with fighters who use good footwork like Billy Joe, Saunders, and Caleb Plant. And that's it for now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.